with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
James County Commissioners Court for today, April 24, 2026, 9 a.m., now in session. Agenda item number 3, public testimony. Any person may appear before the court at this time to speak regarding any general issue or matter that is not on the agenda. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by permission of the Commissioners Court. We have one listed, Ms. Vicky Trevino. Good morning.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
On behalf of Coastal Bend College, I
Can you
appreciate.
just state your name just for the
Oh, I'm
for
sorry.
the
My name
record?
is Vicky Trevino. On behalf of Coastal Bend College, I appreciate the opportunity to share an update on our progress in 2026. And more importantly, that progress that is directly tied to our economy development across communities that we serve in South Texas. In the first quarter, Coastal Bend College has focused on one core priority. That's building the workforce pipeline our communities and employers depend on. Everything we are doing connects back to strengthening our regional economy through education, training, and strategic partnership. We are also proud to have been recognized as 2026 Top Community College by Education Insider, which reflects the quality of education and workforce alignment we are delivering across our service area. A major driver of economic mobility is the Coastal Bend Promise program, which eliminates the tuition barrier by covering remaining costs after financial aid. This initiative is increasing access, credential attainment, workforce entry, and local talent retention across B, Tallapoosa, Jim Wells, and Clayburt counties. In the workforce development, our partnership with Goodwill Industries of South Texas is already expanding across to short-term training and industry-recognized credentials, helping residents quickly upscale into in-demand jobs that support regional employers. We are also strengthening the long-term talent pipeline through our partnership with Texas A&M University Kingsville, creating seamless transfer pathways into engineering STEM fields and ensuring that our students can move from local classrooms into high-wage, high-paying, demanding jobs. Together, these efforts represent a coordinated strategy: keep talent local, reduce barriers to training, and align education directly with workforce needs. As we look ahead, Coastal Bend College will continue to expand programs that support business growth, workforce readiness, and regional competitiveness. If there's anything that y'all would like to discuss further, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will personally help you schedule an appointment with Dr. Suarez, our president, to help further or explore deeper collaborations between Coastal Bend College and our regional partners. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Trevino, what is your title there, or what do you?
I am the community outreach here in Alice and Kingsville.
Thank you so much for the
Thank you.
information.
Have a good
Appreciate it. Anybody else like to address the court at this time?
Anne Marie Torres, Prairie View A&M, Jim Wells County Extension Agent. I just wanted to come before the court to say thank you, Judge, for allowing us to put on the 504 home repair program for our seniors. And thank Commissioner Gonzalez for spearheading this event that we had on Wednesday. And of course, for Commissioner Garcia and Aguilar for showing up, and also for allowing us to have the Merchants Building. And I'm glad that we moved it there. Thank God that it rained and we had to move it there, because we had about 100 individuals attend the event. We gave out 100 applications, and of those applications, I have had numerous phone calls and emails for that. So that says that your community is in need for the program. I'm glad that also that Coastal Plains showed up. Jack Sheeran, the past USDA director, Rogelio Mercado also showed up out there. And we also, out of that, I also received 2 individuals who are interested in assisting me to help the seniors fill out those applications. So in coordination with Commissioner Gonzalez, we're going to set up a specific date in May where we're going to bring those individuals in and assist them with the applications. I will also be setting up appointments with them on individual basis as I'm able to assist them apply for those opportunities that are out there for them. On the 29th, which is next Wednesday, I will be holding the same session in Fremont. And Mr. Teeter from the USDA will also be accompanying me, just like he did. And they also sent Mr. Aurora Gomez, the district district director from the USDA. He sent also another representative, Mrs. Romo. So hopefully the both of them will be able to be out there to also assist and give more information and answer any questions. If there's any questions that you might have, I have not been able to reach out to you yet. I will get to your county because I do want to do one specifically in your area for Orange Grove. So yeah, are there any questions or anything that y'all might have? I will be going by and dropping off applications because I know y'all are going to have an influx of individuals calling or going by to try to pick up applications. So I will go to your offices hopefully today and try to drop off at least 15 to 20 applications just in case. So if y'all have any other questions? No?
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Isabella. Can you, Ruba just pass by, can you get him? Anybody else want to address the court at this time?
I have something to say, Judge. Today is Real Transportation has an Earth Day in San Diego at Centro de Provecho. Anybody interested in attending? It's from 6 to 8 p.m. today. Thank you.
My name's Fred Ballinger, and I live on County Road 336, and our road is just a mess. And I came here to find out why we can't get that road fixed. I'm addressing that to you, Judge.
Okay.
We got County Road 336, 339, and 337 is blocked completely, but you have to go out in the pasture to be able to go through that road. And I just wonder, you know, it's a total mess.
Can you please leave your information, fill out one of these and leave your information with Mr. Garcia, and Mr. Perez? I cannot, answer your questions during public speaking, because it's not on the agenda. But, if you leave your information and your phone number with Mr. Perez, I'll call you.
Okay. It's 361-438-0193.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lance, you want to touch up on the burn ban?
Lance Brown, Jimos County Emergency Management Coordinator. Right now, we were blessed to have some much-needed rain. Our KBDIs are in the low 400s right now, so we lift the burn ban. Right now, there's no paperwork that you have to fill out, but you do need to call the Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office and ask for communications. 361-668-0341 is the number that you need to call, and then ask for communications. They'll get your name, number, and address, and you still have to stay in compliance with TCEQ. Make sure that you have a legal burn, no burning of trash, of anything that's gonna creosote post, and to make sure that that you don't burn at nighttime. So all the rules still apply. It's just now, you have a little bit more free will to take care of burning of what you need to burn. We'll be monitoring it throughout the upcoming weeks. So there's a small window, hopefully not. Hopefully it'll stay lifted for a good while. But once the KBDI's, the Keaton Byron Drought Index, which is monitored through the state of Texas, once our threshold gets above 500, then we're going to have to bring the burn ban back to the courts. The commissioners will make the decision of reinstating it. But as of right now, just continue to be safe, do good burns, and watch out for your neighbors and protect your property. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance.
Thank you, sir.
Would anybody else like to address the court at this time? Hearing none, we'll move forward to agenda item number 4, previous minutes. 4.1, discuss, consider, and take action on minutes from previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 5, consent agenda. 5.1, consent agenda items will be voted upon in one vote and will not be discussed separately unless requested by the county judge, commissioner, or a citizen.
Yes, Judge, Commissioners, I have reviewed the budget amendments, and they are allowable amendments with y'all's approval.
Motion to approve item is presented, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 6, proclamation. 6.1, discuss, consider, and take action on a proclamation proclaiming April 26, 2026 to May 3rd, 2026, Texas Soil and Water Stewardship Week. I do have the resolution here and proclamation. Soil and Water Stewardship Week proclamation. Whereas healthy soil and clean water is a benefit to everyone, and whereas effective conservation practices provide the soil, water, animals, plants, and air that can ensure a rich standard of living, and whereas our security depends upon a robust management of natural resources, and whereas stewardship calls for each person to help conserve these precious resources. Therefore, I do hereby proclaim April 26th to May 3rd, 2026 as Texas Soil and Water Stewardship Week.
Motion to approve.
We have
Second.
representatives. I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Judge, for this opportunity to co-sponsor and share in this proclamation from the Texas State Soil and Water Conservation Board. I have some notes here in front of me, but most of what I have to say here will come from the heart. Some of you know me, some of you don't.
Can you state your name for the court?
But my name is David Simmonsma, and I'm a director member of the Jim Wells County Soil and Water Conservation Board. And I'm passionate about the soil and water of our land. I serve as a member director along with 4 other
directors from 5 designated sectors of the county, and we are involved in all matters of soil and water conservation. Those are here with me this morning. I think all of you know Victor Science. He's a director. The 3 other directors were not able to be here with us this morning because of out-of-town commitments that were unbreakable. Arnold Trejo, which I think many of you know from Alice. We have Clint Arnold from the Orange Grove area. And lastly, we have Albert Martinez, Constable, whom I'm sure all of you know. And all of us are dedicated and are on a mission to conserve and preserve our soil and water. We meet monthly and we discuss, we review, we approve, we disapprove, we discuss initiatives that are all related to matters of protecting, preserving, improving, and maintaining the condition of our soil beneath our feet. Because it's the host that provides the nutrients and the source of the food we grow that ends up in our grocery stores and ultimately on our tables, our dinner tables. So we consider these natural resources very important and near and dear to our hearts. But we can't do it alone. It takes teamwork, and there are a number of agencies that we deal with, some of whom are represented here this morning. We have Rogelio Mercado with the Texas A&M Extension Service, AgriLife. I believe recently he told me that he's been our county agent for a little over 30 years. My, how time flies. But I've known him all of that time. In fact, he used to be my neighbor, my good neighbor. We have Isabella Ruiz, who is a 319 technician with the watershed program or service for the San Fernando Creek and Petronila Creek watersheds, as well as Baffin Bay. And we work closely with her every month. We have Millie Stevens with the NRCS, whom you may or may not know. She's a conservationist with the NRCS that works across Jim Wells County and Nueces County. And we meet with her every month to approve and review projects that are brought in front of the NRCS. And we have Ronald. He is Carlos Pena, who is the district conservationist, is not here today with us because of another commitment, but Ronald works with him also as a technical assistant to implement projects across the county that are beneficial to our standard of living. Okay. We also have the benefit of working with Tom Smith, who is with NRCS and is with us this morning, and he also is involved with us on a monthly basis. We have also absent from us this morning is Adrian Pettis, whom you may or may not know. He's the area conservationist with the Texas State Soil and Water Conservation Board, and he's our link with the state's initiatives and directives. So we work closely with him every month. He would be here this morning to share in this honor, but he's at a meeting in Catula and Carrizo Springs. So he's here with us in spirit. We also have, last but not least, our technical assistant and our clerk, Yolanda Bueno, whom I'm sure you know, and she's invaluable in taking care of all of our administrative needs and formal communications. We couldn't do what we do without her assistance. So that being said, we appreciate the opportunity to lay this proclamation in front of the board today, and we ask for your support as elected officials of the various the people in your various precincts. Thank you.
I do want to thank you for the $35,000 donation or grant that, through the Solar Conservation for our small dam projects. I sure appreciate it.
We were so happy to do that
Yes.
because it improves our watershed management.
Right. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for what you all do. I've been at a couple of y'all's meetings, and I know you guys work diligently and are passionate about what y'all do. I have the proclamation. If y'all want to come up, we can take a picture.
Might add also then, in addition to the host, being the host for the food that we grow, it also holds the water resources that, the aquifers that we drink from. Water that is accumulated from the matriculation of the rainfall that we sometimes receive and migrates down to those huge reservoirs from which we drink clean water.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, sir.
We will frame this and put it in the USDA office.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you guys. I'm not sure.
Lance, I thought you said they were gonna stop working outside.
Did we make a motion to approve?
They're not jackhammering. I think they're just passing by.
Second.
Let's go ahead and, I have a motion and a second, to approve agenda item number 6.1.
We had already made a motion.
I do, I have a motion and a
We
second.
had already done it.
Yes, we already done it. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 6.2, discuss, consider, and take action on a proclamation stating April as Fair Housing Month. Each year, or each April, National Fair Housing Month is celebrated to reaffirm our commitment to ending housing discrimination and commemorate the passage of the Federal Fair Housing Act in 1968, which prohibits discrimination in a sale or rental of housing on the basis of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, or familial status, and disability. The Fair Housing Center invites you to join the Fair Housing Month of Action, and the month is dedicated to educating ourselves and taking time to reflect so that we can take action to advance fair housing. I think we have Ms. Norma.
Good morning, Court, Commissioner, and Judge. My name is Norma Salas. I'm the Grant Administrator for the county, and I'm going to read the resolution, the proclamation of April as a Fair Housing Month. Whereas Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, prohibits discrimination in housing declares it as a national policy to provide within constitutional limits for fair housing in the United States. And whereas the principle of fair housing is not only national law, national policy, but a fundamental human concept and entitlement for all Americans. And whereas the National Fair Housing Law during the month of April provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize that the complete success in the goals of equal housing opportunities can only be accomplished with the help and the cooperation of all Americans. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners Court of Jimos County, do proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in Jimos County and do hereby urge that all the citizens of this locality to become aware of and support a fair housing law. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll make a motion we approve. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yeah, Mr. Gonzalez, you mentioned, them working outside. Yeah, I think they were gonna just stop jackhammering, right, or?
Yeah, they were just gonna they had an issue with the water leak, that was the main priority right now, but they're gonna cease operations until we finish work.
I just spoke with Mr. Sellers. He's cutting it off for about an hour.
Agenda item number 7, disaster declaration. 7.1, discuss, consider, and take action to adopt a local state of disaster declaration for Jim County due to the drought conditions impacting public health, safety, and water supply. Authorize the use of all availability county resources to respond to the emergency, and authorize the county judge to take such actions as necessary under Chapter 418 under the Texas Government Code. This disaster declaration, we all know the water issues that are going on, not only in Jim Wells County, but in the region. We had the city of Alice, we have the city of Orange Grove, who have already, I think Alice filed the disaster declaration on April 14th, and I think Orange Grove filed theirs in April 15th. So in doing so, I found it's behooved that Jim Wells County as a county files a disaster declaration also. We know that the drought and the shortage of water supply has caught the attention of not only Jim Wells County, but the region and the state. We want to make sure that our residents are protected. I know that a week and a half ago, myself and I think there was 6 or 7 other county judges, we had a meeting at the office of the governor with his chief of staff, and we expressed our issues in each one of our counties. And I was able to express our issues with the city of Alice and with Orange Grove. We are supposed to continue meeting. We are supposed to provide shovel-ready project that can be done and can be addressed in a timely fashion. We've had a few meetings with the city of Alice and Orange Grove to see how we can address both issues. The city of Alice has kind of a different issue in itself. They have their desalination plant, the RO plant, and they're in the midst of completing the second well. They have to get important permits and important issues resolved. And this declaration of a disaster would help expedite that. And I do have Mr. Todd Wright, a city manager for Orange Grove. Would you like to, I'll let him explain the issues that we're going through in Orange Grove.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Todd Wright, the City Administrator for the City of Orange Grove. First off, thank you, Judge, for all that you've already helped us with, and Commissioner Chapa. Y'all know firsthand for Orange Grove that we've been monitoring closely what's been happening in the region. We've been in a prolonged drought, but with that, it's affected surface water treatment plants. So the Lake Corpus Christi, Choke Canyon, all those entities that pull from those water sources are now having to turn to an additional source of water, going towards groundwater. So what we've started seeing is massive groundwater pumping that is already affecting our area. We've seen a major drop in the aquifer. We've seen our quality of water change, and that is our first and foremost concern. When we talk about the quality of water, we're talking about the total dissolved solids, abbreviated as TDS, and historically, Orange Grove has had a good quality of water. We're talking TDS levels in the 850, 800, 870 milligrams per liter range. When we started seeing the massive withdrawal of water from the Nueces County region, our TDS levels went up to 900 and up to our highest has been 1150. The secondary threshold for EPA and water standards is 1200. So we are fast approaching safe drinking water quality. And so what we're trying to do is get ahead of the curve and try to take care of the issue. These are items that we've never thought we'd have to face. The City of Orange Grove has been very proactive in everything that we do for providing water to not only the City of Orange Grove, but we also provide water to 2 colonias outside of the city limits. So what we're trying to do here is making sure that we can continue to provide that quality drinking water. Orange Grove back in 2019-20 drilled an additional water well to be able to continue providing us water. So what's happening is we've seen a large withdrawal from the Evangelino aquifer that is just stirring up the quality of water. And once the TDS levels reach that high level, there is no easy cure. You basically have to let that aquifer sit for a while, and I say for a while, multiple years, for everything to settle back down to be able to and reduce that massive pumping to have that quality of water return if it's not already ruined entirely. So what we've worked on are 2 projects that we have first identified is unfortunately now Orange Grove has to find an additional source of water. This is something we didn't see for the next 100 to 200 years. We've relied on groundwater for the Evangelino aquifer since 1939, 1938, over 90 years that we've had to rely and manage successfully our groundwater. And like I said, what's changed is multiple entities, communities, businesses, corporations have had to turn to groundwater to go into the Evangelino aquifer to meet their water needs. So we're working with the City of Alice. City of Alice has been a great neighbor for us. They've worked well with us. And we said, how can we be able to purchase their desalinated water from their brackish wells that they've brought online? And these aren't cheap projects. The goal here is for the City of Alice, in order to provide us water, they would need to have to work to drill us a 3rd well. Those wells are $5 to $6 million a piece. They're not cheap. In addition to that, the City of Alice does have 2 raw water lines that come from the Lake Corpus Christi. They would basically allow us to take over one of those lines, case it, and redirect the flow, so they would pump water from Alice to Orange Grove. In order to case that line, we're looking rough estimates already of $2 million. So we're already at $7-8 million to get these projects done. That cannot be done on a local taxpayer or a ratepayer's dime. These costs are just exorbitant. So we're looking for all the regional and state federal help that we can get to it to fix this issue. The other immediate option we're looking at is filtration. So for those that are not familiar with groundwater for your ranches and your farms, you're pumping straight out of the well, no treatment. For the municipal level, we chlorinate the water. That's the disinfectant. So there is no treatment plant. There is no large-scale chemical injections or anything like that to be able to combat what you see that's being brought in. And it requires a totally different type of license, operations, footprint, an entirely different type of operation. So now we're looking at filtration. There's two different types of filtration methods. There's several filtration options you can go with. Everyone's familiar with reverse osmosis, RO, very expensive, very hard for us to accomplish on our side. Another option that we're looking at is ion exchange to target the TDS levels to bring those down. But that's to say, if we don't see a reduction in pumping, which from all indications that we're hearing, it's only going to get worse. More entities, more people are going to turn to groundwater if lakes do not rebound. That our TDS levels can continue to rise. So just more operational costs. And we're talking operational costs more than double of what it currently takes for us to operate our municipal water, which means double a water bill for those ratepayers. So we're trying to work together to make sure that we can get the attention that's needed on this and make sure that it's not one city's issues. This is a regional issue. To make sure that everyone can continue to have that quality drinking water. Not everyone can go out there and buy RO filters for their farm and ranches. Not everyone can, if their wells are starting to run dry because the aquifer water table is dropping, not everyone can afford to spend $30,000 to lower their well. So this is something that I feel as an entire county, as an entire region, we need to step up and have that disaster declaration in place to where we can all work together collaboratively to make sure that we can continue to provide the water that our citizens need and get us through this situation. Do you have any questions for me?
So how do you plan to redirect the water from Alice?
Great question. So the city of Alice, their discharge into Lake Finley is approximately 1 to 2 miles away from where their distribution system is for their RO treatment plant. So there's going to be some permanent infrastructure that's got to be put in place there. And then for that raw water line, it runs all the way from Alice, Lake Finley to Lake Corpus Christi. That line runs right through the city of Orange Grove, right there next to Stripes Convenience Store, a block away from our distribution line. So infrastructure, I would say, is 90% complete. The hard part's there. It's now having to get that pipe cased because
You're probably going to have to add some pipe or what?
yeah, there's going to be a little bit of piping added.
By the way, there's a water leak out there somewhere in that line.
Yes, and so the line that we're looking at is the 20-inch line that was built in 1963. It's an old cement line, and that's why we said we're going to case it. We're going to put a pipe in a pipe. So it's a 20-inch line. We're looking at maybe an 8 to 12-inch line inserted inside there to be able to provide that water towards
So
us.
your primary water right now is what?
Our only source of water is groundwater.
So you're going to have to build like a reservoir also, or?
No, so with that, we have ground storage, one ground storage tank. We're looking to rehab and be able to have a second ground storage tank that holds 300,000 gallons of water. And to be able to the current plan is to blend that water to bring our TDS
Sounds
levels
like a
down.
good plan, so hopefully it works out.
Good plan, expensive plan, something that was not on our bingo card for sure for 2026.
You think this plan is going to materialize in 18 months, 24 months, or?
Yes, so the city of Alice, we've had 2 meetings. Judge has been participating in those as well to make sure that he on the county level knows what's happening on this. But this is something that we were going to try to accomplish through the House Bill 500 grant funds through the Texas Water Development Board. It's 100% funding. So we have that grant application that's due July 30th, and that's the immediate goal is to try to get this project funded through that grant. And that's one of these biannual funded projects through the legislative session. So the monies have to be expended by August 30th of 2027. So you have 1 year to get this project done. The good thing about this is most of the project is already got the infrastructure in place. That 20-inch line is there in place. So all you have to do is insert that new casing to run it, to make a tap in, tie it into our distribution system, and for the city of Alice to get their third well online. They're looking about a 6 to 8 month time. But currently, the amount of volume that we use is on a high end, 400,000 gallons a day. You see everyone else talking about how the millions of gallons of water that they use. So Orange Grove's, 0.3. And so it's a very small amount of water on a comparison level to the larger municipalities.
So how much water does the city of Orange Grove use a day?
A day, 300,000.
300,000?
300,000 gallons.
Compared to 3 million from Alice?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a fraction, yeah.
Just a fraction. You look at the other large cities that use 120, 150 million gallons per day.
Yeah.
So it's
I know that,
it's alarming to see that other entities are trying to pull the water that they need to service their large communities from the groundwater.
I know that the judge talked about a secondary well, the well that they're drilling right now, I guess, for the city of Alice. I know that first well produces 1.5 million. So if they have another one that produces $1.5 million, they'll get to 3 million.
Yes, and
By
so
the end of the year.
by the,
By the end of the year, they should be fully operational.
Yeah.
I would, in the timetable that we're talking with everything that the City of Alice is working on, they're hopefully in the next couple of months to have that second well online. And in an emergency, they were able to provide us water through just those 2 wells alone. Not the full volume that we need, but enough to be able to
If
blend.
they're producing 3 million gallons a day, that's only the use for Alice, so I guess,
Yeah, that's why they would need that third
yeah,
well.
right.
And they're looking, we're looking regionally. It's not, hey, let's just help out Orange Grove. They're looking at other entities, the other municipalities, areas that they can also serve. Because what's beneficial about this is the desalination plant. The well alone, like I said, costs $5 to $6 million. Then you have the cost to deal with the plant itself, the maintenance of the plant. It'd be cost prohibitive for the city of Orange Grove to do even just a small scale plant like that. Not only on the timeline, but the expense of it. So it makes sense for us to work with the city of Alice, to let them have the operational of the plant. We maybe go into a partnership on the well itself, but they are able to refine that water and then be able to transport it
Well, I
away.
wish you will, I think it should work, it looks like.
It's a great solution. It's a great partnership, good neighbors, like, as I mentioned. And what we're asking here is, the cities are responsible for their citizens. The county is responsible for all county residents. And so they themselves, unfortunately, hey, City of Alice, City of Orange Grove, we're going to have water for our citizens, but what about the farmers and ranchers? They need their help as well, because, can't run a water line to every single ranch, miles and miles just to service one house or ranchito. So got to be able to help all of our people.
Todd, this water line that the pipe you're gonna stick inside the other casing is plastic PVC or?
HEPE, yes, sir.
12-inch.
Yes.
These discussions we've had with the city and the county and the state, the shovel-ready project that I mentioned earlier, that we're supposed to have at the governor's office. I'm suspecting that what we're looking for is funding for this. And he mentioned HB 500. HB 500 allows an application for a city of Alice with a number of population, 21 million. And for the number of population for Orange Grove, 10 million. So the questions and the issues that are going to be ironed out is it's going to be one application, two applications, whatever it is, and whatever we find out at the governor's office, if there's other funding mechanisms that we can do to address our issues. But we've been working closely with Michael Esparza. He's been very cooperative and very helpful. They made some really good decisions. I think they were talking about this RO facility, in 2014, maybe earlier. I know when I came in 2015, we had a meeting on it in Austin, but regardless, it came to fruition. And like I said earlier, their issue is different. Their issue is we have the mechanism to get the water. We just got to get through the permitting stages that were, a little bit lackluster. And after these issues of water issues in Nueces County were coming along. But regardless, this is kind of a joint effort, a disaster declaration, but we're not forgetting our rural residents, our agricultural producers, and our ranchers. We know there's an issue. We're trying to nip it in the bud. How that could happen, there's too many agencies involved. And I tell you what, we're going to rely heavily on the professionals that know what they're doing as far as this is concerned. But that being said, this is why I feel it is very important that we do file this disaster declaration. Our county seat, Alice, needs it. Mr. Esparza, has a meeting, with the Texas Water Development Board here, I want to say in a couple of weeks. We want to, provide him with as much ammunition as he can when he enters those meetings, because those meetings, point the direction of the funding. You know, we have a need, and Orange Grove has a need, and our farmers and ranchers and our residents have a need. So we're here to try to help as much as possible. So I asked the Commissioners Court today to help us approve this resolution and declaration of a disaster for Jim Wells County.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Judge, if I may,
I have a motion and a second.
if I may, Scott, you know, it's a good idea, and I'm happy for you guys are trying to find other sources of water for the Orange Grove area. But I just want to remind the court that it's not just Orange Grove, it's the whole county of Jim Wells County. This is a serious issue. It's a whole state. We're all going through it.
It's a whole region.
So if we're going to be applying for something like this, I think we need to take into consideration other areas also that they may need, like Loma Linda. And sooner or later, Fremont's going to get hit with it also. So we all need to take into consideration what other options we have to be able to cover all the area in Jim Wells County, because I'm glad you're the first one that, you know, spearheading the whole system here, and it's great. But we're also going to start getting other people here. So if we're going to do something like this, we got to take the whole county into consideration.
And that's a good point,
Yeah.
because initially, the idea was the county would apply and include Alice and Orange Grove. But in the meetings that I was in these past couple of days in Wichita Falls, the county cannot apply. It has to be the cities, since they have their own water systems.
The public water supply
Yeah,
system.
the problem.
So what part were we going to have here? What part are we going to have within, the city's applying, so
What the part we're having right now is that we are going to file this disaster declaration to assist our cities in getting what they need to address their issues. As of right now, that is it. Now, I can tell you, things are changing almost on a daily basis. Like, for example, the grant we're talking about, HP 500, it went from 15 million from one day to the next, it jumped to 21 million, depending on your population. So things are changing every day about these things. So if next week or the following week, something comes available that the county could apply for, we may bring it back to court and make those decisions at those times. But right now, since we're pretty much Big Brother, Big Brother needs to file this disaster to help our cities and our county get what they need to address this issue.
And Commissioner Gonzalez, you know, we're, right, this, of course, immediately approaching the emergency situation, but that is the ultimate goal is long-term planning for
Exactly.
for all of Jim Wells County.
I commend the city of Alice and they're way ahead of the game
Oh, yes.
with that desal or well that they did. And of course, they are the hub city of the area, and like the judge says, it's the big brother. Well, there's a younger brother that serves the other ones, you know. And it's a good deal, but we need to address it as soon as possible. I know you guys were ahead with the pipeline, but it's a good deal you came in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Tom.
There's a motion already now?
Yeah, I have a motion and a second. Do I have to read all this? No, okay. I have a motion and a second. It's a long one, but I will paraphrase what it says. You know, this is a joint disaster declaration with the city of Alice, Orange Grove. Included in here are our farmers, our ranchers, and our rural residents. We are not here to leave anybody out. We wanted to cover as much as possible in this declaration for the simple fact that something can come out in the next few days, and we may be eligible for it. But the main thing is, the city of Alice, Michael Esparza would have this in hand when he goes to his next meeting at the Texas Water Development Board. So I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and I'm a yea on that one too. Thank you, guys. Just for the court's information, I'll be filing this, and then we'll need to come back in 7 days to extend it. And the extension will last 30 days, and we'll have to bring it back to court to extend it when the 30 days hit. Agenda item number 8, order Memorial Day fireworks sales. 8.1, discuss, consider, and take action to adopt an order authorizing the sale of fireworks for Memorial Day beginning May 20th and ending May 25th under Occupations Code Section 2154.202H. This is, in order, we must have this order in order for that to happen, correct, Mr. Guerra?
Right, this is one that the court must proactively approve. It's not like Fourth of July or New Year's, which are automatic unless you prohibit it. So, but you do have until May 15th, I don't know. So we will meet again. It sounds like we might have to have a special on May 1st to extend the disaster, and then we do have a regular meeting May the 8th. You know, we did get some good rain this past week. I don't know we don't know what the situation will be as we go deeper into May, but you don't have to do it today, but you can do it today.
I have a question, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I guess to both of y'all. I've had some concerns in the past in the involved of bottle rockets. So we're in a burn ban. Can those be eliminated, or is there anything we can do about that?
Yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to address. So we, as a county, do not regulate the firecrackers, right? They have the fire marshal, I think they're out of Beeville, that they're the ones that, you know, if we get a phone call, oh, so-and-so selling inside the city limits, well, us as a county, we don't regulate that. That's where they pay their monies from. So whenever there is a burn ban or something like that, that is one thing that they regulate, where there's supposed to be no bottle rockets. You know, it's only the ones that go up and go kaboom that are to help eliminate that. We don't, as a county agency, we don't regulate what they can or can't sell, but the state does. So if y'all do pass it today, we should be good to go, because the state will regulate if we get put back into a burn ban on the 15th. You know, they would regulate what they, you know, not the little bitty ones that'll cause a fire, but they're the ones that regulate the firecrackers.
So what are we approving today? The sale of fireworks?
Because it's not a normal day, right?
Yeah, I understand that, but
It's
Holiday.
it's not a given, it's not given that like Mr. Guerra said on 4th of July.
so do you have a number for the state who people can call so I can?
The firecracker, the people that apply for the license do. Like, we don't, I don't have a direct number to them. I mean, I do for our representative in Beeville, so when dispatch calls us, there's no way that Patrick and I can keep up with all the vendors throughout the entire county. So what we do is, okay, a concerned citizen calls, hey, they're selling right here at B's, you know, that's the county limit, you know, well, the regulations change where it's only gotta be like 30 feet from the city limits instead of 1 mile. So we just tell them, hey, here's the number, call them. So we don't handle any enforcements on the regulations. What they're asking for today, the courts, what they're asking today is permission to pop firecrackers on this specific day. not to sell them or anything like that. They just want to ask permission to sell today, or to pop firecrackers on these days. That's what they're
Because the
asking.
calls that I get is that we're in a burn ban or it's too dry and people are flying, rockets and they're going into these dry areas and it's danger.
Well, we've,
And I'm sure, Sheriff, you're gonna get a lot of calls from it, and what is it that we can do for it?
I mean, we popped firecrackers in a burn ban in previous years, on July 4th and on January 1st, right, New Year's Eve. We popped them during burn bans, and like I said, the state are the ones that regulate which ones that they can or can't, or are supposed to not sell. I enhanced, bottle rockets, the little ones that, go up.
Thank you for the side effects, sir.
Just trying to do my best, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
So I guess the question for today is, and I don't know if anybody can answer it, but it would be safe to approve it today. Not knowing our KDBIs in a few weeks.
If we don't approve it, Michael, if we don't approve it, it automatically, they can, if we don't act on it, then they can automatically sell. No, I thought it was 30 days. You have to do it within 30 days.
Not on this holiday. This one has to be approved by the Commissioner's Court. New Year's and Fourth of July are automatic, whether y'all do anything or not.
Okay.
Memorial Day, Cinco de Mayo, Francisco Day, I think there's one other. They must be approved by the Commissioner's Court.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but you have until May
I knew there
15th.
there was some that.
So can we make a motion?
You have until May 15th to decide.
We can bring it back May 8th. If we don't do it today, we can bring it back.
The
May
only
8th.
thing is that, these suppliers, these vendors have to buy their merchandise.
Right, that's the
deal.
They want as much notice as possible so they can know whether they're gonna be able to set up or not.
So what was the,
We were, I'll tell you right now. We were in the low 400s, every day, but they're always one day behind. This is as of 4/23, so this was as of yesterday. We're at 4/27 as of yesterday. That's not including what little rain we got this morning or anything like that, but yeah, we
there's
were
a
at.
lot of moisture out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're okay. I mean, I don't foresee that in 30 days it's gonna go to 700 like we were. I mean, if anything, we might be at 480, 490, maybe 500, but we're not gonna be in extreme droughts. I mean, I don't think, I'm not a meteorologist, so I don't know, but I don't think that we're gonna be in the 600s,
You signed this paper?
Saying that?
No.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna
Full
say.
disclaimer, I'm not a meteorologist, I'm not a fortune teller, but I mean, I feel very comfortable in allowing, for them to pop for the veterans and Memorial Day, right? In my opinion, but it's up to the courts.
I make a motion, we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 9, certification of funds of County Auditor Cindy Garcia. 9.1, certification of funds by County Auditor from Government Capital for Jim Wells County Sheriff's Department Forfeiture Fund.
Commissioners Court, pursuant to the local government code, I hereby certify that Jim Wells County has received $245,112.12 from government capital deposited into Sheriff's Department Forfeiture Fund. These funds are designated for expenditures to be incurred by the Sheriff's Department Forfeiture Fund and are available for appropriate use. The certification authorizes the inclusion of these funds in the 2026 budget as an amendment. Since these expenditures will be funded and paid from the Sheriff's Department Forfeitures Fund, I respectfully request the following amendments in the 2026 Jemez County budget. $145,112.12 will be deposited into the revenue line item of loan proceeds, and they will be expensed out in the motor vehicle line item for the same amount.
What was the first total?
It's the $245,112.12. This is the, y'all had already approved the agreement.
vehicle?
Purchase of the vehicle, so this is just, they send us some money and this is to pay out the vendor for the vehicles.
So the rest of the 100,000?
The rest of the 100,000 is gonna be a down payment from the forfeiture fund that the sheriff is just putting as a down payment.
Okay.
And this is the remaining that's gonna be financed.
So they're gonna put the 100,000 back in the, to the forfeiture fund?
108 will be paid out of the forfeiture fund upfront. In addition to this.
Can I entertain a motion? Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 10, grants, CDBG mid-mod 22-085-027-D268. 10.1, discuss, consider, and take action on revising the designated authorizations signatories for contractual documents pertaining to the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program, General Land Office, State Contract Number 22.085-027-D268. This resolution will allow the county judge and the county auditor to sign for contractual documents.
Good morning again. How are y'all doing? Norma Salas, Jemez County Grant Administrator. I'll be reading the resolution for, by the Commissioners Court of Jemez County designating authorized signatures for contractual documents and documents for requesting funds pertaining to the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program, CDBG MIT, General Land Office, State Contract Number 22-085-027-D268. Whereas Jemez County has received Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Award to provide the flood and drainage improvements, and whereas it is the necessary to appoint a person to execute contractual documents and documents requesting funds from the Texas General Land Office. And whereas an original signed copy of the CDBG MIT depository authorized signatures designated form is to be submitted with a copy of this resolution, and whereas Jemez County acknowledged that in the event that an authorized signature changes, the following will be required. A resolution stating the new authorized signature. A resolution is not required if this original resolution names only the title and not the name of the signature. And a revised CDBG MIT depository authorized signatures designated form. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commissioners Court of Jemez County as follows. Section 1, the county judge and the county auditor be authorized to execute contractual documents between the Texas General Land Office and the county for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program. Section 2, the county judge, the county auditor, the county treasurer be authorized to execute the state of the Texas purchase voucher and request for payment form documents required for requesting funds approved by the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program. Section 3, the county judge be authorized to execute environmental review and related documents as the responsible entity, RE, for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Program. This resolution needed to be revised because the old resolution that was in file stated names. So the the General Land Office needed this update for this grant. So that's what was needed for this.
The other grant wanted names and not.
Yes, each grant works very different, so we're learning as we're going, but this is what was brought up to me on, that's why we're revising this one.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve items presented, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Sheriff, you're only here for your two? Okay, let me take care of them, that way you can. I'm gonna move over to agenda item number 16. Sheriff Department, Sheriff, Guy Baker. 16.1, discuss, consider, and take action on a resolution allowing Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office to accept and operate under the Sheriff's Immigration Law Enforcement Grant Program, SB 8, as to pay the costs associated with participating in the agreement for the next 2 years.
Joseph Guy Baker, Sheriff of Jim Wells County, Judge, Commissioners. This is a grant that we applied for. It's given by the state, SB 8. We applied for the amount that is being given to us based on our population is 80,000, and this will help us with paying costs. However, we see fit to help with our patrol officers. Equipment or whatever we may need. We have 2 years to use this money.
Can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve items presented, Judge.
Is this a repeat grant or
So it will be, we'll have to
is it
reapply.
in place right now?
So this is a new grant. It's on the same, it's going to be controlled, or I say administered by the Texas Comptroller's Office. I'm one of the sheriffs on the board for the Texas Comptroller's Office. The same as the SB 22. The only difference is with SB 22, the judge by law has to apply for it. With the SB 8, the sheriff's office has to apply for that.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mr. Gonzalez and a second by Mr. Kirchhoff already. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Judge, I'm sorry, Sheriff, that $80,000, you can use it as you like, you said?
The 80,000 is, and so I, like I said, I've been on the board, I've talked with the comptroller himself and his staff. It is for expenses that are derived from doing some immigration enforcement. However, this grant is very broad, on purposely. It was written very broadly, so we can use it for some patrol activities, because as we patrol, we may run across a criminal alien or someone like that. But it is a very broad grant, but it is for that purpose.
So I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 16.2, discuss, consider, and approve a resolution allowing the Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office to enter into a financial contract with Government Capital Corporation for the purpose of financing 4 patrol vehicles.
So this, I'm requesting this to, for the rest of the vehicles that we need. Our maintenance cost on our old patrol vehicles were basically so high. Last year, we could have bought several new vehicles. A lot of those vehicles, we were having particular problems with the 2021 vehicles. It's a known issue where the lifters, when they get up to about 100,000 miles, they go out. So some of those vehicles, we basically have now auctioned off, and we'll be using that money to outfit with radios and some other things that we need to purchase. This is improving our fleet for the next several years. When I first came on, the fleet was in really bad condition. We had vehicles over 250,000 miles, so this should put us in a good position now.
This is where you're getting a loan to buy these vehicles, correct, from government capital?
Yes, that is what this is. The loan will be repaid through the Sheriff's Asset Forfeiture Fund, which, once we get through, we have a healthy one at this point, so we need to buy that equipment that we need while we can.
Motion to approve item is presented, Judge.
I have a motion, and I have a second. Is there any further discussion?
I think you just need to, I gave you a couple of options. We just need to vote on which option, that way we can lock in the amount that they're approving to finance. Do you have the numbers? It's a 3 or 4 year, so.
We went 3 years.
Yeah, that was the recommendation when I talked to the sheriff, so if you
Yes.
can just, those numbers.
At what interest rate?
So due to, we have been able to seize some illicit proceeds here recently, and we have several more that are coming through. So instead of to save money on interest, I want to go with just a 3-year finance instead of a 4-year finance, because we do have that available in the forfeiture fund to pay it on a 3-year term.
How much is that payment every year, sir? Sure.
The payment amount is let's see, make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, $105,530.74 for the next 3 years.
What was the interest?
The interest is 5.795.
About average. It's good.
I have a motion and a second. Do you want to amend the motion?
Yeah, I make a
Say,
motion to accept the items presented with the 3-year, 5.795 interest rate. That work?
Yes. Motion.
Second.
And you want a second? Okay, I have a motion and a second. I have an amended motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go back to agenda item number 11. Eleven point one, discuss, consider, and take action on request by SOJPL, PL LLC for an exception from Jim Wells County plating requirement pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 232.0015 on a 220.81 acre tract located at 559 County Road 146, Alice, Texas 78332.
Judge, Commissioners, this is a request for an exception from the plating requirements that we normally have. And, you know, we've been discussing this on a couple of occasions in the past about how the position this puts the county in some cases. This is very similar to the situation we had with Nighthawk Trail. This proposed, I'm going to call it a division because it's not really a subdivision, but they're dividing it into tracts that are large enough to take them outside of the plating requirements. This is going to be in Commissioner Aguilar's precinct. Mr. Medel Gonzalez and I have looked over the proposal. They do meet all the requirements. So under the statute, I don't think we have any discretion to deny it. However, I have prepared a notice form that I'd ask the judge to sign that we can then file in the deed records with Mr. Perez to put prospective purchasers on notice that this is being done without any county oversight, that there are no public roads in this subdivision. There is a road laid out, however, it's going to be a private road. We're not going to have any obligation to maintain it or anything of that nature. There's been no water study done to ensure that there's most of the time we require a 30-year water study to make sure that there's adequate water supply for people that are going to drill wells. There's been no soil analysis to make sure that the area is conducive to septic systems. We're not representing that utilities will be available out there, although the initial plat does show that they already have an agreement with AEP, so there will be power out there. But in other words, we have to approve this, but I would like for us to file that in the deed records so that people will know they're buying, basically you buy at your own risk in this area, because we're not certifying or in any way stating to the public that this is a good subdivision for any particular purpose.
What's acreage on it or the size?
It's about 200, it's a 220 acre tract total. I think they've subdivided 200 and they're
12 acre
12 and a half acre tracts.
Okay, and there's nothing we can do about the regulations on 12 acres.
Once they've asked, all of them are outside, all the proposed tracts are larger
Than 10.
than 10.
So, but
And-
we can't go back and change that ordinance for the county.
No, that's a state law.
State level.
That's a state law.
Yes.
And they are not proposing any public roads or parks or alleys. So by not doing any of that, they exclude us basically from any oversight.
And if I may, Mike, this is exactly what happened back in the days of tecolotes and green acres and all that stuff. These things weren't regulated by the county. People go in there and then they start coming over to you saying, we need caliche, the ambulance can't get back there, the bus can't go back there, blah, blah, blah. They start putting pressure on the elected official, and then we start spending more money, taxpayer dollars to fix those roads. And this is gonna get us in trouble. And I know it's out of our hands, but it's gonna end up getting us in trouble because they're gonna build dirt roads, they're gonna build all this lousy developments, easy financing to get them, and then it's gonna be a mess. And they're gonna be calling for water, they're gonna be calling for roads, they're gonna be calling for all these other things, and this is gonna end up getting us in trouble.
Well,
And that's unfortunate, we can't do anything about it, like you said, it comes from the state, so, but
where it really gets messy is once they've sold all the tracts, you're not gonna find the developer anymore.
exactly.
And one of the bigger problems on these, they say they have a private road and then they want garbage service.
Yep.
And the garbage truck may not be able to go in if it's a private road that hasn't been maintained.
And I guarantee you, the people that are living in there, they don't understand that they bought land knowing that they can't build a county road in there.
That's why this notice form that will be filed in the deed records is so important, because unless they go and buy that tract for cash, they'll have to go get it financed, which means they'll have to go through a title company, and the title company will see this. Will see that we have filed this and they're saying that we're not guaranteeing, we're not issuing any kind of warranty that this land is fit or suitable for any particular purpose. They asked for an exemption and they were approved for it because the state law says we have to give it to them. So,
I think that's a very important clause in that regulation there that, make sure when people do want to buy it and finance it, the title company does notify the buyer, hey, this is, because I know what's going to happen, like we just said. They're going to start, hey, can we get trash service here? And it's going to be a private road. We're not going to do that because our vehicles are not supposed to go to private roads, first of all.
Yeah, and the thing is that it may start off okay right now, but 20 years, 30 years from now, whoever's sitting in these benches here is gonna go through the mess. They're gonna come in here requesting, we need a caliche, we need to pave the road, we pay taxes, blah, 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 so.
And for
how
the
do you
record,
exclude them?
about 2 weeks ago, I said, I know you're asking for an exemption. I know we can't force you to do it, but would you please provide us with at least the water study and the soil analysis for the septic and the water? And his reply was, we don't have to do that. We're exempt. And so, we asked, and I understand, he didn't have to provide it, but we asked for it. So there's a record of that at least.
So we're gonna include that verbiage and
You can read it there. That's why I printed two.
okay.
You can see what we're disclaiming. We're saying,
Michael, I have a question. So let's say somebody buys and they want to build a house and they get a septic tank permit. What if that permit that soil doesn't comply with the?
that's their problem. And because the OSSF is still valid, they still have to get that. If they want to put a septic system out there, they still have to go through that. That's a separate requirement. What the plating requires before anybody builds is a soil analysis to make sure that, and most of the soils around here are, I don't know if there is, you may know.
Well, the difference between soils is just gonna be whether it's a standard system or an aerobic system. That's basically the difference, which is a huge difference in price.
Yeah, the septic permit is still a requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is no public water system out there, so everybody's gonna have to drill their own well.
Well, and if they don't put that power in, they're gonna have a lot of problems. That'd be on them. We can't prohibit them from plating.
The way they wrote it, and the legislature just passed this not too long ago. I think it was in 2019. And now the developers know what they have to do to fall into that category where they fall outside of our plating jurisdiction. And so we may start seeing more and more of these. This law is only probably 6 or 7 years old.
So basically what we're approving is,
We're not approving, we're giving them, we're acknowledging that they qualify for the exemption. And as part of that, we're gonna file this in the deed records. And hopefully,
and this is gonna be presented to each buyer as they go.
well, if you buy cash, if you got the cash and they just give you a deed, you may,
So if we disapprove it, Michael, then they have to plan?
no.
No? So
They've requested an
where's the
exemption.
approval from us?
We're not approving, we're recognizing that they're exempt.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a recognition that they
With Mr. Perez.
yeah, it's a recognition that they qualify for the exemption.
Who's the developer?
Chris Elizondo from Austin. And the name of the company, the LLC is on the agenda item, SOJPL.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the exemption.
Yeah,
That exempts them too, right?
second.
What's that?
They're tax exempt too, they could be,
They're not tax exempt.
after 10 acres, if they file for a,
No, it's 15.
15.
Yes,
what's
it went up to 15 for the,
Ag
Ag
exemption.
Thank you.
Ag. Yeah, that's a different.
it's
that's-
15 acres now.
They moved it up to 15 acres?
Yes, sir, last year.
Okay.
Yeah, it went from 10 to 15, right? I thought it was 10.
So they won't qualify for the ag.
Won't qualify for
And that's through the appraisal district.
Right.
No, actually, a committee of the appraisal district, and they approve it.
it. Well, we have to talk to our legislatures. Can I entertain a motion?
We did, sir.
We already
Motion was
did.
Made by Mr. Aguilar, I
I
seconded.
motioned.
I got a
we-
motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I think that one needs to be notarized, though.
12, County Attorney Michael Guerra. 12.1, discuss, consider, and take action on the county judge to execute the settlement participation and release forms regarding settlement documents for with each of the following 6 remnant defendants that are parties in the remnant defendants settlement agreement, RDSA, Associated Pharmacies Incorporated, and American Associated Pharmacies. Number 2JM, South Corporation, 3, Morris and Dixon Company, LLC, 4, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, and 6, United Natural Foods Incorporated, and Super Value, or Value, in the matter of Texas opiate multi-district litigation for the county styled in National Prescription Opiate Litigation, MDL number 2804.
Judge Commissioners, this is, I believe, the next to last settlement. There might be one last group of defendants still out there. This is the opioid litigation that we've been involved in for several years. And as you can see, as we get closer to the end, the settlements are getting smaller and smaller. These 6 remnant defendants together are paying $5,964 would be the Jim Wells County share. So just a bit under $6,000 is what we're going to get out of this part. And I believe there is one last group of defendants, and then we'll be done with the opioid litigation.
Is that amount in here?
It's not in the, it's in the supplement. It's not in the agenda item, but it's in the backup that is posted in the packet. It should be in your packet.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 13, discussion only. 13.1, discussion only regarding previously approved transfer of surplus fairground bleachers to Brooks County, and update that Brooks County has declined to take possession. Further discussion of the proposed alternative to relocate one set of bleachers to Cross Trails Cowboy Church in Orange Grove for use of community shelter support resource during emergency weather events.
So Judge Commissioners, a while back, we had approved, these are the surplus, the old fairground bleachers. We had approved selling them to Brooks County for $10 with the understanding that Brooks would come and pick them up and transport them. I found out, about a week and a half ago that apparently they lost interest in it, didn't come pick them up, and that they're still out there at our fairgrounds. So Lance, with emergency management, proposed possibly moving them to this church in Orange Grove. We've looked into it. He did provide me with some paperwork, but it's just a tax exemption. They are not a 501c3. So at this point, we have 2 options. That's why this is discussion only. I kind of wanted some direction. We could do an MOU with them, but we can't give it to them because they're not a nonprofit. If we do that, though, and I discussed this with Cindy, the bleachers remain ours. And so anything that, and believe it or not, if you recall, we had a claim against us for a bleacher incident. So we remain liable in case anything like that happens. That's the downside to doing that. The other option would be just to declare it surplus and put it out for bids and see who makes the best offer. And then we'd be done with it. But Lance's idea was, this is a muster point in case of emergency in Orange Grove area. And the bleachers might serve a purpose in having a place for people to gather and wait while they receive any kind of emergency aid.
Okay, so I was under the impression that Brooks is not giving them all back. I think they wanted to.
I don't, that's the first that I heard, where they only wanted to give one back, or they wanted to give all three back?
My understanding was, and I think it was Nicole O'Gara with the
I spoke to him.
extension, with the extension office?
Yeah, he
I
said,
spoke to him last week.
what did he say, just
He
one or
said just
three?
one, yeah.
So they were interested in the other two? Okay.
Did they say when they're gonna come get them?
No, but that was part of the, if one was given to these individuals, they may help them transport them to Brooks.
Okay.
But,
Well, the only way we can give it to Orange Grove is through an MOU. But like I said, we have to retain ownership. We can't.
What happens if we made a disclaimer on there? Because I know like on the arena, to take the protection off of the arena, it says not responsible for accidents. Is there any way that we could have that posted on our stands?
That didn't work last time. I mean, that's not,
I think to keep the county clear, I think we just need to put them up for auction and let them bid on them and take them.
well, it's just, well, here's the deal. We've already approved Brooks, if they want, they can come give us, they've never paid us the $10 though, right?
Yeah, they would have to
Yeah,
come
no one can collect
so
from.
supposedly they have the check, okay? He told me they had the check. Now, if they pay us and take ownership, then they belong to them. And then if they make
A deal with them,
deal
yeah,
with-
they can
with
do
them
what, yeah.
To transport them over there and they give them one, then it's up to them, correct?
Right. Once
so
if they bring us the $10, okay, they're yours now. Get them off of our fairgrounds. Now we're out of the loop.
picture, yeah.
Yeah. That would be an easy solution. And if they don't want them, or if they don't want one of them, now we're back to,
Yeah.
we've either got to do an MOU.
So we don't want to
or-
make any money off of them?
$10.
We made, that was done over a year ago.
But for the rest of them that are left, we don't want to try to make any money off of them.
And Michael, I think we need to table this and let's,
Well, that's why it's a discussion only.
you know, okay.
I just wanted, because if you tell me, we want to put them up for bids, then I can prepare for the next meeting or that. If you say, let's do the MOU with the church,
It's, we did approve the sale to Brooks County
right,
through Commissioner's Court.
right. So that's already done. And my understanding was that they didn't want them anymore. So part of whatever we do,
And talking to some of those commissioners, they wanted, it seems like, even one of them wanted to give me $10. I said, no, you have to write a check, stuff like that, But really, I think they do want to.
well, and that's why this is for discussion, because this is the first I hear that they do want two of them, but not all three. So if that's the situation, then maybe we say, look, we've already approved $10 for all three of them, so you got to take all three of them. What you do with them after that is,
The best way to go.
okay. Well, then,
We can get a hold of Nicolo and double check all that, then verify that the transport can happen, and once we verify that, then.
Yeah, no, they're ready. I was speaking with Mr. Ramito over there. He's talking to the same people that we are. And he said, yeah, that they're interested in one. They could use three, don't really want three, but if they have to take all three, they're able to. But that was the deal, was they would take one to Orange Grove and then transport the other two to Brooks for them, was the deal that they had.
that's the simplest solution right there. Just send us a check for $10, come pick up all three,
Go pick them up. Yeah,
and
'cause
we're done.
they said they're ready to do this like last Tuesday, right? Was what they were, and I told them, no, don't do anything. Let's take it to court, see what court says. So we'll get the check and then tell them to work out the deal, then we're good.
The thing
See,
is that
because-
we got to clear what we made in the motion the last time, like Mr.
No,
Garcia said.
what he's saying is that Brooks will come and take them.
Okay.
And that's why, because they're also a government entity like us, that's why we didn't have to go through the surplus salvage auction with them, because they're a government, they're a county government too. But we can't do the same thing with the church, because they're not a government and they're not a nonprofit. But
Those bleachers wood or aluminum?
They're
Pipe and
metal.
wood.
They're out of 2 7/8
Oh, okay.
frames
They're
and
they're
then
very heavy.
2
That's
by
the issue.
6. Yeah, they're gonna come, they're gonna bring the forklifts and 18-wheelers or whatever. The Crossroads Cowboy Church has the means to do that with their volunteers from the church, so. But there's no other paperwork. All we need is literally just a $10 check, because I think it was approved in October of '24 was whenever the Brooks deal was approved.
There's value to those bleachers. I would estimate like 2,000 each, but that's beside the point, but I think Brooks County needs to take possession of them.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So $10 check, turn it in to Miss Cindy, and Jim Wells County's clean from it, right? And then the deal's between Brooks. Okay, I'll let Crossroads Cowboy Church know, and then Judge and I will work on getting the $10 check.
What if they don't, what if Val,
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
I have
we
something to
expect them to
are they gonna wanna
come and
have
get them.
that liability?
Yeah, so the way that I'm understanding it is we'll get the $10 check, and then Crossroads Cowboy Church will be planning on moving it in right, wrong, or different, wherever they're going to. They're gonna take 1 to Orange Grove and take 2 and drop it off in Brooks, at their commissioner's yard or wherever.
Who's
So
paying
they,
for the transportation?
Crossroads Cowboy Church is.
Well, what I'm saying is that
They're gonna be the
Brooks
same.
is buying them, so it belongs to them now. If they give them to Cowboy Church, if something ever happens over there, they're liable for it.
That's up to them.
That's what I'm saying, so they're gonna wanna, then they need to understand that.
That's, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's between them. Once they pay us,
I would have auctioned them off.
Brooks gets we already did something on that, though. We've already acted.
It's probably
Yeah,
unanimous.
so once Brooks pays us, it becomes theirs, and we just need to make sure they get them off of our property.
Correct.
What they do with them after that is up to the Brooks
So
County.
if we could get a check today or Monday, then in a sense, they can be moved on Tuesday.
Sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
Let me know, because if they don't come, then we have to put it back on the agenda again. Okay.
Okay, agenda item number 14, memorandum of understanding. 14.1, discuss, consider, and take action to approve an MOU between Jim Wells County and Real Incorporated in the amount of $15,000 to fund a part-time position supporting food distribution services for county residents. Find that the expenditure serves a valid public purpose and provides a direct benefit to residents of Jim Wells County, and authorize the county judge to execute this agreement. So, this agreement of understanding, the budget part of it is 15,000. This 15,000 was approved, in, budget hearings, last August or September. We're just now, pushing through the MOU. The purpose of it is so, Real could hire a part-time, employee, and they would be, basically the custodians of this employee. And, this part-time employee will serve assistance to support the food bank distributions in all Jim Wells County. The distribution of food, the coordination of pickup and delivery, assistance with, organizing, staging, and facilitating the events, supporting logistics-related activities necessary to ensure efficient food distribution services to eligible residents.
Judge, if I may add, Real does an outstanding job for us at the county level to help with the food distributions, food pantries here in the local area. And they got with us here a while back, and they were requesting some help because they did not have any manpower to lift these heavy boxes. So volunteers are showing up, and it was basically some elderly persons, and they weren't able to help out as much. So by them asking us for help, they are able to hire somebody that can have some muscle to be able to help out. So it's just, it's a great way to assist them in sorting out the food and boxes and all this stuff here in all the areas that they do all the food pantries for us.
Exactly, and I think it's a great partnership. Real is always willing to help us in emergency events. You name it, all we gotta do is call them and they help us.
Exactly.
This is a drop in the bucket to not give to them, but to partner up with them in order to have an individual that's gonna serve us anyway.
Sure. I make a motion to approve item as presented, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I'm a yay on that one too.
I thought you were gonna say something.
No. I'm a yeah on that one.
Number 15, draft resolution 15.1, discussion only of a draft resolution and order regulating construction and modification of communication towers in the unincorporated areas of Jim Wells County, including permitting requirements, safety standards, and right-of-way use of provisions.
So Judge, Commissioners, from time to time, we get calls from companies that service and maintain these towers, and sometimes construct them new, asking what our permitting process is for towers. And because a lot of counties do have this in place, we do not. This is a discussion only today because I wanted to put forward the draft, and y'all can review it. And maybe at one of the next meetings next month, we can come back and if y'all have any changes to make, we can incorporate those in and adopt something so we can have something on the books. Just to not necessarily, not regulate, but permit to make sure that they meet these minimum requirements.
Sir, I looked at the paperwork you sent me, and is there a max or limit on the fee that we can charge?
I don't know that I think those numbers that were plugged in there were basically state averages, like I think some charge more, some charge
I
less.
know the pipelines is only 500, that's it, right?
Right, but I think this one, a new construction is 1,500, and then there was, if it was a modification of some kind, it was a lot less, 500. So just look this one over, and you know, if you have any suggestions, just email me, and then we can come back sometime next month and get something adopted.
Yes, sir, I think it's a great idea.
It's not necessarily a revenue generator. We're not trying to, it's more just so we can keep track of where these towers are located. It's becoming more and more prevalent with all, of course, cell phones and.
And make sure they meet safety standards, you know?
Right, and that they're one of the, I think you can see it, is that they have setbacks so that if there is any kind of disaster, you know, they're far enough away that they don't, you know, affect anybody or any road. We did have an incident in Fremont a few years back where a private contractor lost control. They were going to bring it down. That was the goal. But as they were bringing it down, they lost control of it and it landed in one of the city streets.
Who's gonna be over that? What department?
That's a
what
good
individual?
question.
Who's gonna make sure that it goes correctly, that it's up
Are you
to
volunteering?
Oh, no.
That would be to the,
I got a lot going
that
on.
would be the permitting area, which is like the OSSF also.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, it'll probably be safety unless you want to step up and
Pay raise? Yeah, boy. Just
so anyway, we can bring that back
sir.
whenever y'all have time to look at it.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Mike.
Agenda item number 17, Commissioners, Precinct 2, Ventura Garcia Jr., discuss, consider, and take action to authorize Commissioner Ventura Garcia Jr., Precinct 2, to place the following items in auction: 2 sheepfoot rollers, 2 steel rollers, Caterpillar backhoe, and 2 Reiner 15-foot cutter mowers.
I'd like to put these items up for auction.
Motion to approve item as presented, Judge.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 18, Commissioner Precinct 4, Huicho Gonzalez. 18.1, discuss, consider, and take action on a memorandum of understanding entered by and between PAAC, People Assisting Animal Control, PAAC, and Jim Wells County for the purpose of collaborating to provide spay, neuter, vaccinations, and community support services to residents in designated underserved areas.
Judge, as we all know, we were awarded that grant here, $600,000 through PAC and PetSmart. And they're just asking to, basically, the standard procedures to be able to have a working together memorandum of understanding. They'll be using our buildings and our grounds at the designated precincts to be able to do the spayed and neutered program and vaccines. So this is just basic information to get a memorandum of understanding through the county.
The PAC's been very good in partnering with us. How much was that grant for?
$600,000.
$600,000 grant. You know, there's in some areas of Jim Wells County, the pet population is deadly overgrown and they roam around. So this is a great program. I know that we may be bringing up some other policy and procedure to back this up. But other than that, I make a motion, we approve.
A second.
Yeah, the only issue I had was that this calls for us as the county, to add the nonprofit as an additional insured. And I don't know, Cindy, would there be a cost to that?
Commissioner Gonzalez briefly brought it up to me right before court. I tried putting a phone call in, I left a message. I don't believe there'll be an additional cost, but of course I do need to confirm it with her whenever she returns my call.
That was it. That was the only.
I don't think there's a charge for that. I mean, based on my experience, right? They just want to make sure that they're an additionally insured to your policy in case.
Now, I don't believe CAP will
But
allow
anyway.
us to add another entity. That they have flat out told us they will not put in another entity into our,
On our
paper.
policy, on our policy.
Yeah, they won't do that. Now, I believe that if they're on our property, and that's more on them, I'll have to see exactly what they would say, but I know they won't allow that.
If the motion is subject to it being allowed by our insurance company. And because if they don't allow it, then we can't do it. I don't think that kills the program, though. I mean, it's a good
So-
program.
If it's on county property or just,
Well, that's gonna be covered.
That's
Our
gonna be
building is
covered.
covered. Is it at your yard or at the?
No, it's gonna be whether we hold it at the
Lofton building?
Laughlin no, in Bimble at the plaza.
No, but it says something about storage at 331 Southwest First or,
No,
there's an address in there. The
No.
equipment will be stored at, and it says 331 Southwest First.
no, it's gonna be stored at either the plaza in Bimble or it's gonna be stored at my office here.
That's, I think, does anybody have the?
It says Commissioner Huicho Gonzalez, 331 Southwest First Street, Fremont, Texas.
So now we would have to change that address.
Okay, because if you store it there, then that building is covered.
Yeah, and it's gonna be stored in the building where we do the services, which is like at the plaza where it's gonna all be stationed there. They don't wanna be going in and out with it. They wanna just leave it there, just wanna make sure it's gonna be covered.
The plaza in Benville?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is that on our, that's covered?
Yeah, as long as it's one of our covered,
Yeah, and then at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, yeah, so those are all.
The woman's building.
I just don't think we can put them.
Is it raining, Mike?
No, it's another. Busted another line.
Oh, isn't this
There's
fun?
the water again.
Really?
Yep, look at that.
Here, do we have
Here.
any water?
And I'm dead.
Well, I don't think they busted it, it might have just popped on.
it's a water coming out of the basement.
Well, it's a line right here.
Okay, so let's see.
So, yeah, that's all it is. It's just a couple of machines that are coming in. They're gonna store in the
I mean,
area,
I think
cages,
that
stuff.
is fine, but I just don't know if the entity, if PAC is,
That's why I was
That's okay.
suggesting, make the motion that we can add them in as an additional insured as called for in the MOU, if allowed
right,
by CAC. Because we don't have any control over that. And they probably have their own insurance.
Yeah. I would imagine, yeah.
The buildings are insured.
So
So I make a motion, we approved,
pending,
pending the decision from TAC on the insurance.
I think that's for liability purposes, right?
So, can I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
This one, we have a shortage of water.
Sounds like it's really coming
It's
out.
another water leak.
Yeah. Agenda item 18.2, discuss, consider, and take action for Commissioner Huicho Gonzalez, Precinct 4, to place the following items in auction. A 2008 F-750 PK water truck, VIN number 3FRXF 75N28V 659861, plate number 160-9009, a Troy built hydro 42-inch riding mower, model number 13A879BS 066, JWC tag number 10738, 5 Echo weed eaters, no serial numbers, 1 steel weed eater, no serial number, Coastal AC model CEG 253A, 2 Energy Star AC model CLRAC 24EWES, 15 96-gallon trash bins, red.
Judge, real quick, on the ones that say no serial numbers, all that stuff has already been documented with every pictures or whatever information we can find on it, so we can let the auditors know that it was either auction or whatever. And on those trash cans, basically what it is, we take the serial numbers, they're all broken. We can't throw them away, we have to go through auction, so, you know, it's almost impossible for anybody to try to buy them, but we put them in with either the truck or whatever, and they take them, and then, once they don't take them, well, then we can dispose of them after they've been auctioned off. So that's why it may look like 15 cans, but they're all damaged, unrepairable. So everything's been taken pictures of, serial numbers, whatever, so it's documented.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, and I have a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 19, county treasurer's report and other monthly reports. Okay, I think I need to read 19.1. Discuss, consider, and take action to approve county treasurer's report and other monthly reports.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Auditor's monthly report. 20.1, discuss, consider, and take action to approve auditor's monthly report.
We'll start with the sales tax report. Right now, through the month of March, we're at a collection of 25.47 overall, as compared to what we had budgeted. So we're actually right on track, slightly over what our estimates were. If you'll look in comparing from this month to last month, actually, it's Jimos County, and this 3 different city entities did take a pretty good, unfortunate dip in March on sales tax. If you look out to the right, though, on the year-to-date payment, if you compare this time last year versus this year, then we are a little bit ahead in regards to The sales tax for Jim Wells County were over 23,474 from last year. So as the city of Alice, city of Orange Grove, and city of Fremont are a little behind compared to last year. So, I mean, you can definitely see sales taxes just at a pretty stagnant, I guess, compared to last year too.
But on that last form, year ending,
We are over.
if you look at February to March, each year, we had that dip. But compared to March of last year to this year, we have a $15,000 increase. So we had that same dip last year.
That's where we sit on sales tax. We jump over to the auditor's report. Of course, this is taking our total revenues, including, of course, our ad valorem tax, sales tax, and all the other revenues. General fund is at a collection rate of 58%. The road and bridges fund is at a collection rate of 54%. When you do add all the other funds, we're at a collection rate of 57%. I do want to note on the revenue section, on general fund and road and bridge, if you compare this number to last year, we are significantly lower. Now that is because, and I don't know their reason, but the appraisal district's very behind on their payments to us. So at this time last year and prior years, we're always sitting at about 80% at this point. I'm not sure they're.
Cindy, I know we discussed this here a couple of days ago that I was here, and then it raises a question, and I'm not trying to put anybody in a bad spot here or anything, but I'm wondering because these appraisal district is making an interest rate on the money they have in the bank, right? So if you hold the money back for so long, if, let's say you're making what, 4% maybe, on the mark?
Like 3.9.
3.9%. I mean, the payment was how much that was sent to us?
Well, we just, they are behind, so we had just received.
3 million?
At the beginning of February was just received, and that was about 2.5 million.
So, you know, what I'm saying is
It's
that.
not included in here.
So
That's
you're
why
getting a
these percentages are
4.9% interest,
It's not
and then you
included.
have that money saved for 3
We
months.
received it in March. What we're just, so in March, we're just.
Somebody's making some money,
collecting.
right?
Not us.
So have we touched base with them at all to see why
I have not spoken to him. That I was gonna put a phone call only because I was like, why are we so behind? And we did get that February payment, and then we just got the second half of February. So we'll see those reflected in April, but they are still behind. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I would have to put a call into.
I just think it's interesting. I mean, it makes,
I don't know the reason.
you know, it's a question, it's a good, to me, it's something to question, because if that's the case, well, we're making a lot of money on our
I
money.
just definitely wanted to point out that dip. If you compare years in the past, at this time, we're definitely way behind. But the money is coming in, I have seen it, it's just, it is behind, and I'm not sure the reason for it. That's why.
So can we make contact with them?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely give them a call, see what I can find out.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that's on the revenue. I just wanted to kind of give that explanation because it is low compared to what we have been in the past. Of course, if you go on to the expenditure side, this is just, of course, our spendings between all general fund. Through the month of March, of course, we should be at 25%. Overall, general fund's at 29, so we are a little above average compared to our budget. A lot of those, sometimes there's some like big quarterly payments that are made early on, so kind of distorts the number. If not, you know, most of the time I will contact that or know why the expenditure is high. On the road and bridge side, they're at 21% expenditures. The road and bridge overall as a whole are doing well on their expenditures. If you combine the other funds, we're at a total of 28%. So we're at a negative 3% variance as a whole on all the funds. So our expenditures are a little high as a whole.
We know one source, why they're high.
We've had some heavy expenses and a big department.
Good.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 21.1, discuss, consider, and take action on payroll and bills as submitted by county auditors with the exception of Fund 52, 53, and 54.
I'd like to address a few items on the bills. I requested a report on the Sunrise Transport. This last payables, they were at $9,482. And with that total, there is a ongoing guard duty fee for one of the inmates at $2,060. Just wanted to mention that.
Anybody else?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve agenda item number 21.1. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Can we go back to the open?
Eye on that.
Motion carries. Yes, we can go back to testimony.
Judge, I want to make an announcement. May the 1st, yes, May the 1st, Friday, there's going to be an unveiling of Rio Grande Valley Civil War Trail sign by the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley CHAPS program, Battle at Los Patricios, Friday, May 1st, 2026, 10 a.m. at the intersection of FM 716 and Jimos County Road 425. About 5 miles west of Fremont on 716. Reception to follow at the William Laughlin Community Center at 230 Southwest First Street on the corner of Bernice and Fremont. So everybody's invited. It's they're gonna unveil the sign. Mike, you know a little bit more about it, right?
Yeah, this is I know Metal Veta has taken the lead on this. It was a Civil War, within one of the few Civil War battles and skirmishes that happened in our area, happened in our county. And he's done significant research on it.
Yeah.
They found some artifacts out there at the site. And we're finally doing formal dedication of it.
And it gets pretty interesting. Mr. Vera is awesome when you start talking to him about it and explains everything to you, and it's interesting. So I invite everybody to, if you can make it, be up there. That'll be it.
Anybody else like to address the court at this time? Hearing none, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, guys.